Okay. Yeah, really. I did this poem already. Didn't really come out the way I planned it. It's called I Didn't Write It Down. Didn't like the way the first one sounded. Kind of sounded kind of crappy. Sounded. I didn't really sound crappy. Just not the subject matter I wanted to. I wanted to deal with. I wanted to deal with something a little bit more effective or more general. Something so specific. So I'm gonna try it again. Let's try it. I get to try again. Take two. The world is on fire, and I have the plan to put it out. But then again, that's just words coming out of my mouth. And I saw the paper. I said, I'll forget it. I'll do it later. Writing it down. But I didn't. And then now I'm trying to explain it to everybody I see. I'm trying to tell them we're not who we're trying to be. Who am I? Who is me? They usually ask. You see, I'm a nobody. Living up to a potential that could potentially be the nobody everybody wants to see. And that was sick. And if I wrote it down, I could put it down and say that's immortality. But you see, if you lack ability and the quality, things that people like, it doesn't matter if you have a video, if you have a mic, you'd be still riding a trike because you haven't graduated to a bike. People, adult days, adult ways, says they're grown. And they have these things that they have known their whole life. Like, I gotta have my rights. I gotta have my mites. I gotta have my tights, said the lady. And I said, why don't you walk around naked? She said, that's just crazy. And maybe this philosophy that I'm trying to bring across, I should write it down. Maybe this whole world who thinks they're smiling is actually one big frown. I made it once to this one town. This guy said he was the clown, but he was so serious. He said, you want to know why? Because the other day they put me in the river and they all wanted me to drown. And this is a story, you don't have to believe it because I didn't write it down. But I'm trying to explain this simply. We're all living in that town. And maybe this message about the burning city wasn't so witty. And maybe I'm talking trying to be gritty, nitty. These people, they're getting too picky. And the nitpicking is getting sickening, and I know that's just an opinion, and opinions are opinions, and they don't have to be the truth. And maybe I'm just trying to be forceful, and maybe I'm a brute, and maybe the meditation of all things is the root, evil, money. Maybe it's funny, that's what I'm chasing. Maybe it's funny, that's what I'm facing a lack of. Erasing. Okay. I didn't write it down, so I guess I'm just a guy that slacked off, too lazy. Maybe. There was too much weed, I'm too crazy, and the days were too hazy, and that's all just maybe. I should have wrote it down. Maybe I could have explained it to you now. How we could walk out of this town. But then again, it's probably just going to be me and the clown. The only one that's truly down. Because they have to be down to be smiling. But you don't understand. I'm going to move to an island they call paradise to live the rest of my life. After I'm done with this mess, this stress, after I'm done dissecting my wrongs and my rights. It was a foolproof plan, and I could have told you about it if I wrote it down. And sometimes I'm wishing I wrote it now, because I could have wrote it how you would have understood it. You would have seen me in a dark alley hooded. And you wouldn't think me on the side of good. It's just common sense to think I'm your enemy. But I'm not hooded. Just where I'm from, I'm a black man. Maybe. These are explanations, I should write them down. Or maybe you should just leave the town. Then that map and that plan, I don't have it now. So how do I expect you to follow me with no proof? And you tell me, seriously, you only have one life to lose. And I look like I came out of hell. And how on earth did they let me loose? And I would have said some sick lines with some sick rhymes and talk about some sick times, because I've been through some alleys with some sick minds. But I'm too distracted by thick thighs, nice eyes, nice smiles. And she had a nice behind with some nice styles. You see, I got distracted. Go back to that plan we were talking about. Probably, I forget already. I probably should have wrote it down. But yeah, the point of that is that, you know, the idea of bringing something across is it has nothing to do with where you put it, the medium, and the way you communicate. It has nothing to do with what you bring across. What you bring across is yourself, a part of yourself. No matter how much you try to avoid it, you will always bring across yourself. And for those who look at it and go, it must be on paper. You know, there must be something linear about it. There isn't. It's just what's there at the moment, and you pick that up at the moment. And if you're writing it down and you're sitting there thinking about what you're writing down, technically you're not writing the moment. You're just writing what you think the moment should be, and that in itself, I find that very counterproductive, because you won't gain anything from writing what you think the moment should be, because when you look back at it, it's still what you think it should be, not what it is, and what you learn from it is still nothing. It might be good, it might be great, it might be horrible, but when I do these, I don't look at it as good, great, or horrible. It's a matter of, when I look back at it, what did I learn? What did I accomplish, and what did I get from it? And writing things down tends to take away from that lesson. As much as writing, when I write, I don't really 100% let my brain think too much about it. It's still giving up a sense of that. What am I really thinking? What am I really feeling? What am I really trying to get across? But anyways, that's out of the way. Didn't write it down.